I didn't start a revolution. I just made us docile enough for their slaughtering. And I can stand here and blame Evil Corp and every other conglomerate out there for taking advantage of us. Blame the FBI, NSA, CIA for letting them get away with this. Blame all the world's leaders for aiding and abetting them. Blame Adam Smith for inventing modern-day capitalism in the first fucking place. Blame money for dividing us. Blame us for letting it. But none of that's true. The truth is, I'm the one to blame.
Hello friends, Greg here. Mr. Robot Season 3 is finally upon us, and I'm here to break down the season premiere for you. But first, make sure to subscribe to GameSpot Universe so you don't miss out on any of our other awesome TV breakdowns, movie reviews, and more. Now let's break down Season 3, Episode 1, Power Saver Mode. First up, a quick recap. Elliot is still kicking from that gunshot wound from last year's finale. The Dark Army's Phase 2 attack is still in the works. And we were introduced to the Dark Army's very own Michael Clayton-type fixer-upper, Irving.
When we lose our principles, we invite chaos.
Elliot goes to an underground hacker tournament to try to stop Phase 2. Darlene's back trying to get information out of Elliot. Gee, I wonder why.
I know a lot more than you think, Elliot.
Mr. Robot returns, and Angela plans to manipulate Elliot in the same fashion Mr. Robot does in order to bring down E-Corp.
He started this, didn't he? I'm just helping him finish it.
Okay, let's dig a little deeper and let's talk about the most important connections that I found in this episode. Last season, Tyrell shot Elliot after he swore to uphold the Dark Army's plan, aka Phase 2, devised by Elliot's alter ego, Mr. Robot, which was to bomb the E-Corp building storing all of its files. Elliot is taken away for treatment by Season 3 newcomer Irving, played by Bobby Cannavale.
Pushing on his stomach like that, that's not helping things. You might want to stop that.
And dropped off with Angela to recuperate.
They called me. They told me that you were hurt.
I absolutely loved the premiere. Many of us will agree that Season 2 suffered from a sophomore slump, and this season felt like a great mix of what the first season built on, with a noir vibe added in. Every character had their motivations drawn out very clearly, and for Elliot, his is deconstruction. Elliot is trying to fix the mess he started, but it clearly seems to be too little too late. The wheels are moving along, and everyone that Elliot seems to trust is only giving him shades of the truth while keeping him in the dark so Mr. Robot can finish his ultimate goal. Now this season already, he seems to think that he stopped Phase 2, and we already know that's not the case at all. Speaking of Stage 2, White Rose returns with her assistant and they discuss plans for Elliot, presumably below ground in a power plant or particle collider. And we'll get into that a little bit later.
That's what she said.
Now the most important info we got of that exchange is that White Rose still may be working with Philip Price, and it's unclear if any of her various soldiers know this. And Elliot's a goner once he's completed Phase 2.
And after Mr. Alderson completes the great work that we need from him, then he can die for us.
Now let's talk about my favorite thing of the season so far, and that is without a doubt Irving.
I got my punches. Didn't you just say I could have a free milkshake?
Yes, and you can redeem it on your next visit.
What's the difference? I'm here now.
He's the perfect dose of comic relief that the show needs, but he's no Poochie the dog.
Hey kids, always recycle. To the extreme! Busted!
That stunk!
Show creator Sam Esmail spoke to Deadline earlier this week about Irving, and he said, in terms of his character, we knew that the Dark Army needed to bring in someone to manage Tyrell and Elliot given their rocky relationship. Given where we left off in Season 2, we wanted a fixer, and we'll deep dive more into Irving's story later this season. Now you'll notice that the majority of Irving's scenes take place at the Red Wheelbarrow restaurant. A motif from the second season shows up again, but this time it takes the form of a barbecue restaurant. Ah yes, a poem gone corporate. This goes along nicely with E-Corp selling F-Society merch in Elliot's monologue. Now let's get back to Irving and the wheelbarrow. A couple months back, the Twitter account for Mr. Robot tweeted this photo of new cast member Bobby Cannavale. Now Reddit pointed out that there was readable Morse code on his tie. Translated, the code provided a bit.ly link that led to a promotional website for the Red Wheelbarrow that you can visit right now.
Where the fuck have you been?
Darlene's back, and it looks like she's in really bad shape. Now, we already know that she's been through quite a few traumatic events last season, so this season seems to show her completely coming undone. The FBI has already gotten to Darlene last season, so the scenes with her and Elliot seem to play off the idea that she's bugged or at least trying to pull information out of her brother. Now, the bar that the CTF tournament that Elliot and Darlene go to was called 1984 and has a Big Brother eye on the flag in front. Now, this Orwell plug is a reference to many things in the show, but this could definitely allude to a wire on Darlene. Moving on, let's talk about Angela and Mr. Robot. Angela is all in White Rose's plan to undo everything E-Corp has ever done and create a new world. In essence, Angela has become a new version of Elliot. She was slowly radicalized by her useless attempts to take down E-Corp through, in her eyes, legit means. White Rose got to her before the FBI did, but Elliot knows something that Angela doesn't yet. The Dark Army doesn't offer any true relief for her pain. They aren't going to fix her troubles, and they're not very different from E-Corp. Same shit, just different smell. But as Elliot says, she doesn't love the people who love her, she loves the ones that don't.
This is her power saver mode.
So in the end, Angela and White Rose may be a match made in heaven. We got some pretty cool insight into Elliot's split personality when Mr. Robot asks Angela, "How do you know you're talking to me right now?" Angela responds,
Your eyes. You're never trying to look away.
I'm really loving the new dynamic between Elliot and Mr. Robot and the people around him. So far, Mr. Robot seems to be an independent character, free to make actions that impact the story and interact with other characters. This just means we get a lot more Christian Slater, and I am 100% on board with that. In the premiere alone, we got to witness Mr. Robot talk to characters who know he's not Elliot. I've been waiting for scenes like this since season 1. Okay, so here are a few of my favorite moments from the episode. Elliot and Angela's Josh Groban t-shirt was pretty funny, but I really dug the moment he donned his black hoodie like he was some kind of superhero. Irving shaking the FBI's tail was pretty awesome. I can't stress enough how great Bobby Cannavale is. Now, the camera work for this show has always been phenomenal. The cinematography is a work of art. Reddit users spotted a neat lighting setup in the scene with Angela and Mr. Robot you may not have noticed. Mr. Robot is the damn devil. Now for the music in this episode. The song over the opening credits is Whistling Away the Dark by Henry Mancini and his orchestra, and the song at the end is Touch by Daft Punk featuring Paul Williams on vocals. And now for some final questions. First, what's going on with this parallel universe line?
If I close my eyes, I can imagine that everything we experience, everything we see, think, and do is unfolding simultaneously in a parallel universe.
Now, don't sleep on that line. There's something definitely otherworldly spiritual going on this season, and let's not forget about Angela saying this.
What if I told you we could make it like none of this ever happened?
Now, before I and many other fans could start their time travel theory, Sam Esmail already debunked it. So don't count on that large collider that we saw in the opening of the episode to run a time machine. But there's still something weird going on here. Could it be a simulation of some kind? Are we stuck in some kind of Matrix-like world? We don't know just yet.
You have to dig pretty deep, kiddo, before you can find anything real. We live in a kingdom of bullshit.
And that's it for me over here, everybody. Let me know what you thought of the episode in the comment section down below, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like so we can continue to do more Mr. Robot videos in the future. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.